What's up YouTube? So welcome to like this brand new series I want to do on this channel. When I did my Q&A a couple days ago, I asked you guys like, do you guys want to see videos of talking about like my pro wrestling journey in a way? A lot of you guys said yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So this is mainly like the little update vlogs in a way. It's not an actual vlog like me going to a wrestling event or anything. It's more like a sit down talk for a couple minutes about what I'm doing kind of thing. I'm gonna try my hardest to make sure I keep all these videos under 10 minutes because I don't think anyone wants to see me talk for 10 minutes about this. This one might be over 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it under only because like I know I'm gonna talk about a lot of different things. Make sure to watch the entire thing. It might be kind of interesting. But basically to answer some basic questions about what I'm doing right now with wrestling. When did I start training? That was about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3. It was June 18th. And what school am I going to? So in a Q&A of either April or May, I said I was gonna go to MCW. I'm actually not going to MCW anymore. Not anymore. I never actually even went there to start with. My main reason, and actually the only reason, is MCW costs a lot of money to start over there. Put in perspective, I think the beginner class was anywhere between $1,500 to about $2K. Yeah, men don't have money like that. Down the line, I'll probably end up making that switch to MCW, but until then, I'm enjoying where I am right now. And also, those places are actually 2 different wrestling schools at the moment. One being House of Pain down in Hagerstown, Maryland, which is actually run by John Rambo, who's actually like a veteran in wrestling. Honestly, he's done a lot in professional wrestling. He's had matches against Mick Foley, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, upon so many other people. Actually, if you walk into the building of the school and whatnot, you can look around at like the entire building, and I'm gonna show some overlay clips of like the actual school itself. And there's like all these pictures of like wrestlers who either have came by or he wrestled with or anything like that. I remember seeing like Mick Foley and a bunch of like really older school wrestlers, and also Velveteen Dream, he's up there also. Another school I'm going to is Crab Wrestling out in Ridge, Maryland. Whichiger from the DMV, like a lot of guys you probably see wrestle on the independent scene, they've probably wrestled or trained there at one point. And then people who made it to like a national stage, obviously like Velveteen Dream has been around there, and Leo Rush. But Malcolm, are you gonna be recording any like your wrestling training, showing us, you know, what you're actually doing in the ring? As of right now, I prefer not to. Personally, I don't really think anyone wants to see me bump around for like 5 or 6 minutes. In retrospect, sounds kind of boring. It's not like I walked in first day and I'm doing drop kicks. Like, it's some really basic stuff. We're not doing anything like, you know, crazy. And once I learn how to do a hurricanrana, maybe I'll start showing that kind of footage. But in all seriousness, I really just don't want to be the guy that brings the camera into the wrestling school. One, because I'm brand new, so like I don't want to be that guy just walking in with a camera guy or ask someone to hold my camera while I'm wrestling. Like, it just seems... just comes off kind of douchey to me. I'm sure if I asked someone would do it, but like I just don't want to. I really don't want to be that guy. If you look up anyone that's like started a wrestling journey and has like all this footage of them like when they first started wrestling, and they made like a whole like documentary series about it, none of them really seem to last that often, do they? I know what everyone's mindset is when they're thinking about bringing a camera guy or they have someone there recording for them. I know this is definitely me if I try to bring someone or if I had someone record me. That like 95% of my mind is gonna be on the wrestling, but the other part's gonna be like, okay, how's this camera angle going? Like, does it look good? Is that the best angle of me bumping, or could we got a better one? Can we redo this? I think about that stuff a lot when I'm recording, even when I'm doing like those matches for that belt. During some of those matches, I'm always looking over the camera because I'm just trying to make sure like they're in a good position. And so like, yeah, I would just be thinking way too much about the cameras and not enough about what I'm actually doing in the wrestling ring, so that's why I just have no footage at all, nor do I really want any. I guess to give you guys a little bit more background, I mean, it's kind of like the most easiest question that I think everyone has the same answer for. Like, why do you want to become a wrestler? What made you like wrestling? That kind of stuff, right? I've told a story a couple times on YouTube, I'll say it again. So like when I was 8 years old, I was just sitting there with my dad, right? He was like, hey, you want to watch something cool? I was like, well yeah, sure. What's up? He turns on Monday Night Raw as a backstage segment between like Triple H and like John Cena. That guy has an 8-bit shirt on. I like him. The other guy with the long hair, I don't like him. And that's pretty much how I became a wrestling fan. And I went to my first ever wrestling event in 2009 in Hampton, Virginia at the Hampton Coliseum. It was SmackDown, and like the main event was like the dark main event. It was Undertaker versus CM Punk versus Batista versus Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship. And after I left the show, I met R-Truth in the gas station. I really wish I saw a picture of that, but R-Truth, he's a cool dude. But with that out the way, I kind of just want to go over like some of my preparation and stuff and whatnot that really got me to the point of where I feel I'm prepared to do all these tasks that I'm being forced to do to become a pro wrestler. So for anyone that's actually wanting to become a pro wrestler, I mean, the first thing you probably need to do is you might want to start working out. So like, I mean, you can not work out, I guess, and you can still go into it. Not being like the strongest person in the room is not really going to stop you. But it is kind of beneficial if you actually try to go. Depending on how old you guys are, if you're still in high school or you're in middle school, if you're not playing a sport, I mean, you should try. Just, you know, hop on a sports team. You don't have to be good, you just try. You can make friends and you get a little more athletic than you were before. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I used to play soccer when I was in middle school and I looked like a really chubby milk dud. So like, it's okay. You don't have to be the best on the team. It's just going out there and trying. Pro wrestling is a lot of teamwork. You have to work with someone else. So that's the only way it will work. You literally need to be on the same page. Understanding teamwork and working together is a very important thing. If you never played sport before, you never, went to a gym or anything, just try. You don't have to walk in and try to bench 500 pounds. At one point, Arnold Schwarzenegger was even skinny. So like, we all start from somewhere. LeBron James didn't pick up a basketball and get traded to the Lakers. I mean, he had to put forth some effort. Now, like my background, obviously you guys know I do powerlifting. I mean, I talk about it a lot on YouTube. But besides that, I used to do amateur wrestling in high school for a few years. And then also recently I just started doing jiu-jitsu. Mainly just because like those two type of sports or any type of like MMA, the main objective is to have really good footwork. And while it's definitely important in those areas, I mean, in pro wrestling, like it's pretty much a make or break. If you have the wrong placement of your feet, someone's gonna trip and it's all gonna look fake. It's gonna look so stupid. The slightest step of your foot really makes a big difference in how a move looks, which I did not understand. And as I'm starting to learn that, I was like, wow, this actually looks a lot better as I, actually put my feet in the right place. So as of right now, I just finished up like my 4th session of wrestling training yesterday. By the way, I train on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday between the 2 schools. I'll let you guys know, I mean, it is not easy at all. But what did you do on your first day, Malcolm? What's the kind of stuff that you did? What can I prepare myself for if you actually are thinking about starting professional wrestling, or you're like, maybe you will next summer, or maybe you will this fall or whatever. The main things I know that we do between both schools is a lot of Hindu squats, normal stuff that you probably do to warm up. I mean, sit-ups and 6 inches and all that kind of stuff, The difference between the 2 schools I actually really do like, because they are teaching like kind of different styles, but like they kind of form to be like the same thing. There's always a different way someone can do like a wrist lock, there's a different way someone does like headlocks and whatnot. Like there's a different way you can pretty much do anything. So it's kind of interesting to kind of learn like 2 different perspectives and kind of try to mold it into my own. But at House of Pain is more of like an old school type of wrestling feel. I don't think we've done any rolling yet. Like we have done like no type of forward rolls, side rolls, nothing. My first day and even up to today is still like the same stuff. It's kind of just perfecting what you already are learning, which is what you're supposed to do with anything. Repetition is the key. Just a lot of the really basic holds like wrist locks, going behind the back and all that kind of stuff. And then stuff in the ring and whatnot, just running the ropes, taking an actual bump. You guys can look up basic videos about how to take a wrestling bump. Like it's one thing to watch it, it's like, yeah, that doesn't look that hard, right? It's another thing to do it. It's so strange. It is not a natural motion to throw your legs up in the air and expect to fall on your back and just be okay. After you take like your first like good bump, kind of feel pretty confident after that, even though like I probably slipped up a couple times after that, and I've landed on my tailbone a couple times. That you will feel in the morning. That was like painful to walk up the stairs. Like that was extremely sore. For any weightlifters, it's like when you deadlift like a PR that you haven't done in a long time and you wake up and your lower back is like so sore that like it's hard to walk in the morning. It's like that, but like times 2. It does not feel good, especially if you're brand new. But essentially a lot of stuff you guys are gonna learn on your first day is very basic stuff. Stuff that you need to know, because if you don't know how to do the extremely basic stuff, if you get into arm drags and like headlock takeovers and whatnot, you gotta learn how to do a normal headlock before you can throw people over your side. So the drills and whatnot really aren't anything like too extreme. Like it's nothing that like you go in your first day, it's like, I don't think I'm really capable of doing this type of move. I'm currently between 2 different schools and I can tell you that both of them are incredible. The people take the time out of them training just to help you, especially like if you're like a different size person. Like for me, I'm a bigger guy, right? So a way like a Daniel Bryan would learn how to wrestle is probably a little bit different than like a way like a Keith Lee would learn how to wrestle. Just because there's things that Daniel Bryan can do that Keith Lee can't, or Keith Lee can do that Daniel Bryan can't. Like it's all about size, right? So between both places, like one guy will always come up and like they show me something that's like a little bit different, that's based off like, your size advantage, how to make yourself look stronger. It's not actually about using the legit strength that you have. It's about showing that like, yes, I am stronger than him, and I'm going to show this crowd why I am so much stronger than him. It's like the tiniest of details can make you look like, I lift weights to like, I'm Braun Strowman. There's so many little details when I'm watching, or I know you guys are watching. It's like, I didn't really think about it like that. I think between the 4 sessions I've done, right, like I don't think I've gotten better by any means. I think there's still a lot to learn. Even when it comes down to basic stuff, I mean, I'm only 4 sessions in. That's not a lot of time. But what I do know is that I learned a lot, and that's the kind of stuff I can think about like when I'm driving back home. Probably show it next time I make one of these videos, but I actually have like a notebook of like, steps of how to do certain things. I'll go from like a long mirror I have in my house or something and kind of just try to go over a lockup or a headlock or something like that, just to make sure like my feet are in the right position. If it feels kind of weird, at least I can see myself and I can see like what am I doing wrong. Because like, if you're at home or something, or you're at a gym, or you're at wherever in life, the trainer isn't there to tell you, oh, don't move your feet. So like, you have like a mirror or something, you can just look at yourself. Or you can even record yourself, man. Like, hey, you don't have to tweet it. Just watch to see what you're doing. But back to what I was saying, like the first couple of days you go, like I know for me at least, I don't feel like I've gotten any better as a wrestler. Like I feel like I'm pretty much still at stage 1. I am light years away. First legit debut match, or like the WWE or whatever. But the stuff I learned just by watching, like, okay, here's how to demonstrate it. All right, now I'm gonna watch it from an angle of like not just watching it as like a fan, like, oh, that's a cool headlock, to like, oh, that's how his feet go. That's how he reverses it. That's where his hand goes. The knowledge that I've learned my first couple days is probably the only thing you're really gonna get out of it. I think I'm just generally hard on myself, but like I don't feel like I've gotten any better, but I feel like I've gotten a lot smarter. The simplest things are so key into like learning exactly what you're doing. It's stuff that's so obvious that you would have never even noticed that that's what they're doing. There's a lot that goes into these kind of things that it's very incredible. Like just watching and learning and listening, it opens up your mind. Now when I go back to watch a match, to really kind of like understand like, okay, that's how like Chris Jericho does a wrist lock or something. Kind of slow down the video and just kind of watch his feet and like how he's placing his hands and whatnot. It's like, oh, if he puts it like this, the crowd can't see, this is what he's doing, that's how he reverses. It's really interesting. But that's essentially what I've been doing these past couple of training sessions. I know like when you watch like all the WWE stuff, you watch stuff in the Performance Center, like, oh, here's them learning how to do drop kicks and hurricanranas and stuff. Those are WWE people. Those guys are basically top of the line athletes or have years of experience in professional wrestling. The minute you put yourself in positions like, okay, well, I should be at this level because this person at this age was right here and they're already in WWE or they're already champion right here. The minute you start doing that, you have already taken yourself out the game and you're not them. You are yourself. You need to worry about what you're doing wrong when you're in the ring and work on what you need to do to get better. So that's my advice to myself and to anyone that's watching this. That's pretty much everything I've done so far. It's kind of like a little introductory of everything I'm going to be doing with this series. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, if it's weekly or monthly or quarterly, I'm really not sure yet. If you guys have any suggestions on the formatting of these kind of videos, just let me know. If you guys like this video, tell me in the comments down below. If you have any questions, put in the comments down below, or you can direct message me on Twitter or Instagram at @MuscleManMal. I respond to everyone. It could be like the dumbest question in the world, trust me. This is cliche. The only bad questions are the ones you don't ask. Like, you can ask anything. I will answer to the best of my ability at least. And as I progress, I'll make sure to let you guys know what I'm doing, and you know, we'll see how far I can go in this world of professional wrestling. Because like at this point, if I'm not shooting for the stars, I'm not going to try at all. And just working on what I'm doing right now, make sure to get my cardio together because I could use some work. And yeah, I will be the greatest professional wrestler that ever lived. Mark my words. Or I'll just be some weekend indie guy. And we'll see. Alright guys, hope you guys liked the video, really enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, share, always subscribe, and we outie.
I still see your shadows in my room. Can't take back